Anthony here.
Great. Welcome, Anthony.
Hello.
We can hear you, Anthony. Thanks for jumping on. Sorry, thanks for the coming on a short notice. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:08 p.m. And then we can do a roll call of board members who we have on. If I can get that back up. Rhonda Smith. I think that was her saying here. Claire Cousins.
Present.
Rebecca Wolf.
Here.
Rebecca Borer.
Here.
Robert Davis. And Anthony Bennett.
Here.
Thank you all. And so, as you all know, this is a special meeting, so we will not be approving any meeting minutes or going over any finances. And as long as it's okay, we will cut right to the chase, which is our first order of business, and resolution 522. Shaheem, do you have that? Are you able to bring that up on the?
I don't have the document, but if someone sends it to me really quick, I can.
Check your. I think I sent. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe I emailed everybody but you. But I could just also screen share and pull it up on mine. And I guess while we're doing that, we should have a motion to introduce the resolution.
I'll make that
have a
motion.
motion.
Rebecca Borer makes that motion to introduce.
I'll second it, Rebecca Wolf.
Thank you. How does that work? People see that? Great. So essentially, this is a resolution authorizing myself, the interim executive director, to execute an agreement with Gans and Associates, who is one of the three firms that responded to our solicitation for executive director search. You all have copies of the three proposals that were sent to us. I can say briefly, one of those proposals came from an organization that we also work with, who does our fee accountant work and helped us with our RAD conversion, Charlene Leroy, and we obviously know her and she's very skilled. The other firm is a small organization that does do executive searches, but it's a very small firm, 2 people. From my opinion and from the board members who I spoke with, the proposal of Gans and Associates was head and tails above the others, offering by far the most comprehensive and robust services. And what was very appealing to me was the fact that starting from the actual job description, through talking with board members, tenants, and staff to get a full understanding of what we're looking for in an executive director, through a nationwide search, and then facilitating the selection of candidates, filtering of candidates to bring to the board, and then facilitating the interview process, all the way through helping with relocation and actual contracts. It is a very comprehensive proposal, which is very appealing to me, and I would imagine would be appealing to the board. But I definitely wanted to provide some time for any discussion that any board members might want to have about the different presentations. So I will leave it up to the board to discuss. or ask any questions?
No, thank you so much. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, Rebecca Boer, I just wanted to add that with Gans and Associates, one of the things that really stood out was also their track record over time. They have an incredible track record of finding long-term people, so I think their average was like 9 years of having someone stick in a job. So as an average, that's really incredible. And yeah, just the fact Nick outlined most of it, but just this, the fact that they help people find housing, they help with all of this stuff. That's what made this group the one.
I also feel very good about Gans and Associates.
Are there any questions? Are there any concerns that any board members may have?
No, I think they looked great. Out of all the proposals, they made the most sense to me also.
All right. If there's not any other concerns or questions, then I guess we should move forward with adopting the resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution. No,
Thank you. Everyone in favor of adopting resolution 522?
aye.
By saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries, and we have adopted resolution 522. So as you know, the reason for having a special meeting was to get that going. They have told us, Gans and Associates have told us that they do think they can turn this around on our timeline, which for me is the end of April. And so they can do that hopefully with 2 weeks of overlap. And so I will move quickly in signing a contract and getting the process rolling. I will remind our board members that one thing is that they are going to be asking board members for their input and probably written, I think some of it's questionnaire and some of it may be actual documents that they're looking for in terms of what we need in a new director. So I would ask that as this firm does reach out to folks, that they respond quickly so that we can move this whole thing along. And at a certain point, it will be totally turned over to the board for you to make your choice. But thank you. And this is great. And I'm looking forward to working with them and for you all to work with them. And I'll update you as this moves along. Next on the agenda, as you know, Marie stepped down from the board last month, leaving us without a treasurer, which is always a tough thing because we have the treasurer helps signing bills and other financial assistance. So I will, I'd like to hear any nominations for a treasurer, a new treasurer for the HHA board.
I nominate Rebecca Wolf.
I mean, I really don't feel myself to be an appropriate person for treasurer, given that I actually am not particularly great with numbers or systems or any sorts of like logical processes. So I feel like, anyone who actually has some facility with sort of like, I actually don't read financial documents very well. It's almost like I have a learning disability around numbers. So I seriously don't think I would be an appropriate person to be the treasurer.
Well,
Can I ask, because I know that we do have a space on the board as it stands. Is this something that we need to get done as fast as possible? Is there like a certain issue as far as signing goes? That's why we're doing this now instead of our February monthly?
I I think it is possible to wait until Wednesday. There may be a couple things, but I don't think there's anything that is incredibly urgent. I know it may be a risk to think that whoever the person is who's coming on will be able to immediately walk
Yes.
into that role.
No, of course.
But we could. I mean, and maybe we have to if we don't have another nomination to do that. And so maybe that's actually appropriate because I did say that we were going to be looking for a treasurer at this meeting, and then I realized through conversations with our attorneys and conversations with the board members that we really also need a secretary. And I think, from what I understand, that the past practice for I don't know how long has been that the executive director served as the secretary. But I can't find anywhere in our bylaws or amendments to our bylaws that made it that way. I know that Tim Matisse, for a portion of his time, served as the secretary, but as far as I can see, it really should be a board member serving as the secretary for the HHA. And so I think we should also, and maybe this will give us just another week to think about this and look into this, and for people to think about nominations and whether they can do it or not do it. And then next week we can entertain nominations for a secretary and a treasurer. Unless any board members have any other information about the secretary role or any history with that they would like to share at this point.
No, I just remember Tim doing it from being on the board, but I think that makes a lot of sense to have it be a board member.
Maybe, is it possible to send around just like brief descriptions of what the roles entail exactly? And that way we could more know whether we're suited for them or not.
Yeah, my quick overview is that the secretary would essentially preside over these meetings in the way that I have been presiding over the meetings. They would then also collect signatures for the votes that were taken on resolutions or anything else. And with the director, they would then, certify the resolutions with a little stamp and make sure that everything, all the documents, minutes, everything goes into a file at the HHA office. So, it's an hour or two of work outside of the meeting and presiding over the meetings for the secretary role. And I believe the treasurer role, I don't believe you have to do any actual projecting or creating of budgets, but you theoretically would work with the executive director and the fee accountant on the budgets, and then review and sign documents as the treasurer. But yes, what I could do is I could send out what's outlined in the bylaws and send that off to people, and then hopefully maybe we can be ready for nominations and accepting of nominations on next week's regular meeting. How does that sound to everyone?
Good to me.
Great.
Sounds good.
So our last order of business, we will have to go into executive session on, and that'll be our last order of business. So anyone from the public won't have to wait around, because whenever we come out of that, we'll just make a motion to adjourn. I won't be making any decisions. We're just going over board and staff issues, nothing bad. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that motion, Rebecca.
I'll second it.
Do we vote for that?
Is
it just go? Do we just do that motion in a second?
We might as well do the vote, the roll call.
Okay.
Or not roll call, but all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
think Rebecca said aye.
Yeah.
I think we need one more.
I. Oh,
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Shaheem, could you please Okay, I think this is everyone. There was no one else waiting. Shah?
Nope, nobody else.
All right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second that. Give it to Claire.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good
You
night.
too. Have a good night.